It's 5:30, and I'm going to call a meeting to order. I'm going to start the recording. This meeting will be recorded. And I got another person, Michael Straight's coming in. Let him on. And we are recording and video's going. We're muted. And we're going to, first thing we'll do before anything is read the rules of engagement. Rick's going to read them tonight.
Be positive and respectful of others. Be on time for the meetings, for breaks. Cell phone reminder, turn it on to silent or take a call outside. Be quiet when others are speaking. Raise hand if you want to speak. Stay on track when the topic is being talked about. Come prepared, don't discuss personal issues. No fighting or arguing. The chairperson is in charge. If you have a question, it's okay to ask the facilitator for help. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Okay, the first item up is the approval of the minutes of March 4th meeting.
You can call a meeting to order.
He did.
Okay.
He didn't introduce the president though.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes of 3/4.
And I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the minutes of March 4th. Is there any errors, corrections?
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
I didn't either. All those in favor of approving the minutes as printed signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It's unanimous, the minutes pass.
Steve, could you introduce all of those present, just because some people might not know?
That's just what I was gonna do, is go back to, we missed that. I called the meeting to order and then we read that, but we need the introduction of everybody here.
Thank you.
Who are you missing, Denise?
Teresa, I don't know your last name.
My last name is Gerade. It's spelled Gerade.
Thank you. I think that's
Denise, you're barely audible.
fine.
All right. You got everybody, Denise?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's move on to appearances by local citizens and visitors. And is there anyone here that would like to speak? Barry?
Jane,
Yeah, I would.
can you get closer? Get closer.
My issue is with the 3 properties bordering 105.
I can't hear Jane.
Get here. Get right
Okay.
here. Right here. Right up front.
Okay.
And talk
Can you
right.
hear me now?
It's better, yes.
Okay, my issue is with the 3 properties bordering 105, the apartment building, the one right across the street, the old daycare, and the gray house. They are excessive messes. They look like landfills. They smell like junkyards. They're getting worse and worse. I happened the other day to walk by. I was horrified. They have trash bags unprotected by sanitation barrels. Some of them are split open. Trash piled this high. Garbage, excess messes. It's horrible. And I'm worried. This is only April. What is it going to be like in July? There'll be rats. There'll be an infestation. It's unhealthy. There's going to absolutely be an infestation. I've lived in 18 places in my life in Boston and Boston area. I've never seen this. Never. And I'm shocked. I'll be honest. I'm shocked. I know they have sanitation codes in Boston. I have no idea where it is here. I'm going to look. And it's really pissing me off. Also, we pay taxes. Everyone in this area's property is devaluated because of this. I'd like to sell my house someday. Now, if I were interested and someone was coming down there to look at the property, they would just keep on driving by. I would too if I saw that. So who enforces this? What happens? What happens? That's what I need to know. Not someone who picks up trash once every 2 weeks. This has got to be a steady thing. People could get fines in Boston for this type of thing. Who enforces this?
Steve Edgerly may be able to speak to that, Steve.
Okay, what do you do? What are you doing?
Okay, I've been in there with the fire marshal about 3 different times now. The owner has been picking up the trash. D&D Electric went in last Friday, and hardwired smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in all six apartments. She declared bankruptcy a while back. The bankruptcy lawyer said he'd been doing it for 28 years and he got out of it. And he said even the bank didn't want nothing to do with it. So it's back onto the landlord now. And
She's useless. I hate to say it, but I had problems with her the day I moved in. Useless. She used to have a daycare center. She had 100 kids. Half of them were on my property. I'm just telling you, she's a big problem. She just takes, but does nothing. I know her well. So I have no faith in her. I
So
want to
anyway,
know who legally enforces this. That's what I need to know, because I'll start looking. I was a paralegal, so I won't have too much of a problem. I'll start looking. They can get fined for this kind of crap. What about did you see the gray house? The one right next to the apartment building? Oh my God. I hear they sell drugs and use drugs. No shock there, but they have in front of their house, halfway up the house. Did you see it? We walked by because we were going to the vet. We walked by. Halfway up the house, debris. Is there need for that? It's terrible. It's unhealthy. Something's got to be done. I know you're doing what you can. I have no faith in the landlord in those apartment buildings because, like I said, I dealt with her for 10 years. So I don't see her doing a damn thing. That's it. I don't want to turn this into a circus.
Listen, he wants to say something. Let him stop.
Steve?
yeah, what it boils down to is she's stuck with it now, and from what I've been hearing, there's money coming through from this COVID thing here and to landlords, and she is moving ahead better than she has been. So that's all I can.
That's all you can say. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. I'll find out if there's
It's getting better.
sanitation codes. I see no improvement.
I'd like to add something. I think you're not taking care of it. It should be taken care of. There's many things that can be done. But, like looking for a landlord, a slumlord who's notorious for neglect. And if she gets grant money, she's going to buy a new dress and go out for the night.
Or a new car.
She's not going to do the right thing. I still say the only way to do this is like they do in the city. They take care of things themselves.
They find them in the
Get
city.
Mike
They
to
wouldn't
get
get
his
away
truck
with this.
and pick all the crap up and bring it to the dump whenever is necessary until you come up with a solution. But you don't want to do that because you're afraid
All right,
to
enough.
break the law.
I'm just finding out.
But
who-
you're not
who does
afraid to
it.
break the open meeting laws. I say
Oh,
just
come on.
take care of it. Get a
All
truck
right, I'm gonna
and
find
dump
out.
the stuff and get it and make the town look better.
They should send. There are sanitation
What are you worried
codes.
about?
They'll send her letters once, twice, and then they'll find her.
Dump
that's
the
how
stuff,
it goes. That's
send
how
her
it
a
goes.
bill, and file a small claims court action. That's the only way. This kowtowing around, calling the bank and this and that. You're not getting results. You got to get results. You got to do the job. That's what I say. And it's a reflection on the select board who hasn't got the
I'm not blaming anybody. I
hasn't
just
got
want to
it
know who
together
enforces
enough
it.
to
That's
keep the
it.
town looking good. I blame it all on you. You could do something. There's things that can be done. I don't care. Just pick the garbage up and get it out of there. And make the town look good, and then go after her however you are doing it now. Kowtowing with bankers and this and that. Because it ain't getting done.
Quiet,
Looks like a
quiet.
dumpy, shitty city when you drive down.
It looks
Route-
pretty
Route
bad. I
5.
gotta tell you,
Looks
it
terrible.
Looks bad.
So I blame...
I was embarrassed. I said, I wouldn't even have someone come and visit me if they had a work. I'd be embarrassed. It's
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, I'm
for bringing
done.
that to our attention.
All right, I'm done.
I'm not done. I got one
Oh.
thing to say.
Thank you. I'm out.
Not about this. Different subject. My subject is another neglected issue. The culvert in my yard that is flooding 3 people's properties, that runs down the town culvert that goes to 4 properties. It's ruptured. It's 8 foot wide by 4 foot deep, and Jerry says it's on private property. He makes his own law up, and now we're going to court. And I just want to let you know, I called the courthouse up. Christine I talked to. This is very much a real deal, and she suggested I take it to a civil action, which means it's a trial. Now, are you really willing to go to a trial to not fix a culvert, which is clearly by law your obligation to fix? Are you willing to do that? I wanted to ask Steve, have you ever been to a trial? How about Jerry? Have you ever been to a trial? This is not, I'm bringing it to small claims court. She suggested bring it to civil because it's going to cost some money. But I'm saying, and she agreed, for now, I'm going to escalate the claim to be whatever. I'll get an excavator and get a price, $4,000 or $5,000, and then I'll bring it to the judge on the small claims hearing, and that's what I'm going to do. You're not going to just neglect this and blow it under the rug. I'm not going to let it go. This is on my property. 2 other people have flooded cellars, and Jerry says private property. He has no reference to laws. He made that up, and it's bullshit. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to stand for it. I'm going to fight this. You are going to have to face that sooner or later. I'm patient. Take 6 months, 8 months. I'll wait. I do it legally. And it's going to come at you. I'm telling you. I'm going to take it. And I'll tell you one thing more, and I'm done. I've been to a lot of cases. I've already explained that. I've done some legal shit. You know what I mean? Only because I never could afford a lawyer. I had to learn to do it myself. My wife is she's very experienced in legal, and I studied law in business school, so, I mean, it's not a big deal. My thing is, I've done a lot of cases. I've won all of them except for one, about a dozen. And I'll tell you one, I feel very strong about this with the evidence and everything. Very strong. And I wouldn't even bother if I didn't think I could win. So you want to waste some time and money? Bring it on. Bye.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone?
Bob Best has his hand up, Steve.
Mr. Bass?
He's on Zoom. He's muted. Bob, unmute yourself.
How's that?
That's good.
Okay. That house in the corner, they're back to parking up on that bank again, so you can't see around the corner. Maybe you should just go down and have the town or the city come down, or the state police or somebody, and just tow the car away.
Yeah, we've talked to the sheriff about that in the past, and the sheriff's been down, and when he goes down, they'll move it. I'll give the sheriff, Rick, do you think you could call the sheriff on that?
Yeah.
Rick will take care of that.
Okay.
Good. Anybody else got anything they want to bring before us? Great. Let's move on to the agenda. We have the next thing up is the Northeast Kingdom Broadband Representative. And I think Michael Straight, Wendy Matthews are all here for that. And
Hello.
hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing all right.
A smiling face.
So, we approved joining the Northeast Kingdom Broadband. And
Which is wonderful, thank you.
right, and we need to appoint a point person plus an alternative. And I've heard through the grapevine, Wendy, that you are in favor of heading that up for us.
Yeah, I would be honored to represent the town in this capacity.
Okay. Do we have any recommendations for heading up Northeast Kingdom Broadband?
one of the three that, were,
Yep, well, the other two will be, alternates.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if,
We didn't find anybody interested in doing anything.
yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know if you heard that, but
Okay. I'll take it as an endorsement.
Wendy's been awesome.
Thanks, Mike.
we'll appoint you as the point person, and then there's,
Dave, Dwight, and who's the third one?
Cameron
Yeah, Cameron, yeah.
Thompson. So, we've got alternatives and we got a point person.
Okay, so
Okay.
Dave Gilly and Cameron Thompson will be the alternates.
Who's that?
Cameron,
Did you say Dave Gilly and CJ Thompson?
Dwight Burnett?
I'm sorry.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
Ray, if Denise, if you wouldn't mind giving Dave and Cameron my contact information. I know Dave a little bit.
yeah, be happy to.
That would be great, and then I'll talk to them, and maybe Mike would be able to meet with them as well to get them on board.
Perfect.
Right, and we'll need to get their email addresses so that you all get on the email list, so that you get the minute, the agendas and all that good stuff.
Okay.
So, but we can work on that outside.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can forward them to you, Mike, or whatever Denise wants to do. She might
Yeah.
have.
Sounds perfect.
Great. Thank you so much.
I don't know, I don't think so.
Okay.
Next,
Thank you, Wendy. Thanks, Mike.
Oh, you're welcome. And when I have news, I will share it.
and I have some news for Michael and Wendy.
Yes.
There seems to be a lot of money floating around for broadband.
Yes.
Email box has, did you see this Vermont Biz where Vermont Electric Co-op and Green Mountain Power announced a broadband deployment program?
They're doing the make ready for the CUDs. I know they're doing that for a reduced cost.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact, there's
But
$2,000 per person that they hook up onto broadband, which is available. And then this one came today, which was Wi-Fi in towns. There's they're going all through Vermont, and I can't remember which the Department of Public Service, Rob Fish, from the state of Vermont, and they're developing community Wi-Fi hotspots throughout the state. So I didn't know if you guys need to. It appears.
Actually, Wendy, I'll talk to you about that, because if you don't have any of those in Newport Town, you could sign up. That program was actually offered last year as well.
yes.
Because here in Brighton, we already have one at the library and we have one at the Welcome Center, so we didn't actually apply for any of those. But it does, if you have like a public facility that you want to be able to offer that people could just pull up and park in front of and access Wi-Fi. It's a great program.
That would be so helpful. Even our family, we don't have a high enough speed internet for me to be on Zoom and teach or do meetings, and for my son to access school. So I was hoping for a Wi-Fi spot, and there were none. So
Well, that's something you'll probably have to work with your Selectboard on, picking a site that you think would be worth applying for,
that
where the
would
most people would access it.
do we have time to do another meeting next month before the?
This
is there a
program
deadline
pretty
with the
much,
grant?
I think, I haven't looked at what the current program is, but I can look it up. I can talk. I'll check on it, Wendy.
That would be great, and if that could become an agenda item for, say, next month's select board, so we could talk about choosing spots that would be good for Wi-Fi, because I know that a lot of residents and families in the area would like to be able to get better internet service or access it when, like, if it goes down in one home.
What the one thing I will tell you about that program is I believe it pays for everything for 1 year, and after that, then like the town has to absorb it or wherever you put that hotspot. If I'm not mistaken, it may be longer than that, but I think it's a year.
Okay.
No,
All right.
but if you have nothing, it's certainly worth looking at.
We will put it on the agenda and look forward to input from you guys.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And I would love to see the articles that you have. Could they be forwarded to me in my email?
They will be.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank
Thanks.
you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to the CUD.
And Denise,
Hey.
you have Wendy's email address?
I sure do.
All right, you can get that stuff to her. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to stick around for the next item.
I have one of these next week, so I'm going on.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Next item up is we need to sign the contract with the Sheriff's Department, and I see Jennifer's with us. You are muted, Jennifer.
Yes.
All right. So the contract was, Denise, do we have it here?
I do. I'm going to bring it into you right now.
Okay.
While you have Jen there. Hi, Jen. Tell the guys to do something about the cars that are parked at 105 and Vance Hill, blocking sight for coming off Vance Hill.
They're right on the road?
They're in that little grassy area between the road and the building.
Oh, right at the apartment building?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I honestly thought that was parking for them.
Well, you guys have been there 2-3 times now to tell the people to move.
Okay.
I was gonna call you tomorrow, but now that we're here, I might as well pay you now.
Okay.
So, you still want me to call you tomorrow, or?
Denise, would you mind, if in the minutes, could you mind just emailing me what Rick was, the exact address and everything like that, please?
Sure.
So I don't forget. Thank you.
Yeah, the guys have been there 2-3 times already.
Okay.
Fine.
Contract is signed.
We're done.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
And if you have any concerns or questions in the future, please just feel free to reach out to me and stuff. But I really look forward to working with you guys again this year, and I appreciate everything. So I hope everyone has a great night.
Okay.
Bye, Jen.
Bye.
Next item up on the agenda is don't undermine Memphremagog Purity Lake issues. And I think Effie Brown is here for that. And you are muted, Effie. You need to unmute yourself. There we go.
Hello, good to see you.
Good to see you.
At least the part of your face I can see. Yes, did you all receive the petition that we've got circulating?
We did.
Okay. And I assume you read whatever you wanted to read. There are links within it that direct you to other places and whatnot. Do you feel like you've gotten an education yet? What we're here for, and Teresa's here with me. She's also a member of our volunteer grassroots environmental organization, I guess is what you'd call it. We're going to probably formalize things a little more than they are at this point, but we'll always be volunteer and grassroots. Yes, one of the what really drew our attention to the lake, well, a couple of things actually, and I don't know if you fellows read a lot of the media that's in print, or where you get your news and how you follow things, but you probably are aware that we've got an issue with tumors on brown bullhead. Was one of the things that really, we went on, the Secretary of the Agency of Natural Resources did a little tell me more. Julie Moore happens to be her name, but she she does these presentations, I'm not sure how often, and she did the presentation on the brown bullhead and the tumors that they've found increasing over years, evidently. I'm not exactly sure the first of the tumors that they found, but they're up to 25 to 40% of the brown bullheads. I call them bullpout because that's what we always called them when I was a kid, but have these tumors now. So that was one of the events that we attended that Fish and Wildlife, as well as the Secretary of the agency presented. And so that at that time, listening to what evolved through the conversation with the biologists and the secretary, it was stated that there is contamination in the South Bay particularly, and what they call, I call it Scott's Cove, they call it Hospital Cove, but it's always been Scott's Cove to me. So the contamination, if there's a scorecard, again, there's a link if you want to do a little more research. But there, each lake, I believe, has a scorecard, and the scorecard for Memphremagog considers the waters in those areas particularly contaminated and highly disturbed. So that caused some disturbance for some of us who grew up here, lived by this lake for a lifetime, and others in our group also. The second disturbance that we became aware of was because it's drinking water for 175,000 of our Canadian neighbors and friends. They found PFAS in their, well, I'm not exactly sure what their system looks like, but on their intake anyway, they have determined that they have some PFAS. I think, Steve, you attended the was it 2019, December 2019 was the meeting with the Canadians and those of us here, the dump group and some other legislators were in attendance. Am I correct? You were at that meeting, right?
Yes, there was.
So you're a little familiar with what we've been working toward, and our, number one, we started out, as you know, in opposition to the expansion of the landfill, and then we've kind of I'm not sure which was one and which was two, but Memphremagog was right up they're on the top of the list. And whatever we can do to restore and protect Lake Memphremagog's water quality is what we're looking for. So, and what we're asking for of you is, do you have any questions about this petition? We might be able to answer some. And would you be willing to honor our request for a letter of support that would go to the Secretary of the Agency of Natural Resources, Julie Moore?
First of all, I'd like to applaud your organization for the hard work and what you put into this. I've heard that you had like 2,800 signatures on this petition.
We have the numbers person here, Teresa. Teresa is the person who can give you an update on numbers.
Yeah, the last time I checked, which was Tuesday, noontime, we had 3,300 overall signatures.
Mm-hmm.
We have 1,120 from Canada right now, 583 from Vermont, 444 from the Northeast Kingdom, the 3 counties of Essex, Orleans, and Caledonia, 186 from Newport City, 21 from Newport Center, and 37 from Derby.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gotten a lot of support in the area. I'm particularly pleased by the number in the Northeast Kingdom, 444. And I guess I'd just like to add that this lake in crisis, which is what the petition is asking us to have the secretary designate as a lake in crisis. I don't know if you're familiar with Lake Carmi. They were the first and only lake so far to receive that designation, and it ended up providing them over $1 million in funds to help them deal with their cyanobacteria. And as you know, we do have that. We have invasive species, and we have this mystery of why we have cancerous lesions on fish. So we need to act before this becomes a disaster and our lake is contaminated to the point where I don't know if any of you have boats, but if you go by Newport, sometimes the weeds are so thick it's difficult to get a motorboat through there without, gumming up your motor. And so in order to keep our lake clean and provide a tourist attraction, which provides money to our economy.
You can come in if you want. And you can't be seen because I only have my head in the picture. If you sit there, they won't see you.
I thought I did a good job.
Huh?
And that's
something very
that
nice, very nice. And
Secretary will address.
Unbelievable Bob
petition.
Best checked in on it about the car. He was complaining about it too.
What car?
It says
that junk car they have sitting there forever.
That's at least
Selectboards.
Well, that was his issue.
That is also.
So it's not you're not the only one. So
that's more support and more encouragement for her to make that designation.
Who?
So we have the petition.
Oh yeah, that's what they said. She gets a grant, she'll buy a new single out to eat.
And if we can get endorsements from the Selectboard, that's all the better.
Well, historically,
it's true.
The Select Board has not signed any petitions and or supported any organizations like this because it tends to influence the electorate. And a lot of people look towards the Select Board as I don't want to say a leader. We're not really a leader. There's other people out there that are doing that work for us. I don't know. I'm speaking for myself. Is that I will not sign the petition because I'm on the Select Board.
What is a petition for?
To clean up Memphremagog. They get cancerous on the fish.
Some from the federal
unhealthy.
government and some from the state.
Okay.
Now, what are they
Yeah,
gonna do?
actually, there was more funds have gone to Lake Carmi. The $1 million was specifically for an aeration system that they needed because of the heavy cover, I think, of the algae blooms that they had. But the interesting thing that they got was also was UVM got involved with some kind of a buoy that they could assess what was going on with I don't know I can't explain it because I really don't know exactly what it did, but I thought it was really interesting that UVM got involved in that process, and this seems to be a really apt time to be undertaking this because of the Clean Water Act, because of climate change, because of all of the environmental interest that has been created by what's happening out here. So there's probably been a number of
This one's
pots
so
of
boring, she don't know what she's
funding
saying.
that
Oh, I know. See,
come
I had it
along.
too.
I know that according to the fellow that was the president of the Franklin Watershed Committee, John Barrows, he lived in this area. I don't know if almost think he taught school in Newport Center. Newport Town, not sure, but he was a school teacher here for a number of years, and his son is here somewhere now as a school teacher, somewhere in the kingdom. Anyway, USDA, EPA, Vermont Agency of Agriculture, the Agency of Natural Resources, DEC, these agencies have already spent a fair amount on the Memphremagog watershed, and what we're really looking for is more research, because that's essentially what the secretary said needed to happen. Was they need more research to see exactly why these fish are coming up with tumors. I have a fellow young fellow who has a bass boat that he stored here. He picked it up yesterday, and of course he's a bass fisherman with a bass boat, and he said that he's seeing tumors on the largemouth bass also. So I've been back in touch with him and asking him if he'll do a little bit of tracking of that, because there's obviously there is a high level of disturbance in the lake, and I guess my theory is what is it, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of treatment. You know, if we let things go too far, I mean, this is major undertaking to clean water up. And then when you look at the PFAS, all of those 5,000 or 7,000 categories of chemicals, that it's like we don't want to see any further pollution in this lake. One of the things that really bothers me is when a town or a city is adjacent to another town, they really don't look at what the effects may be on this town or that town. They're only focused on what they're doing in their little plot of land, and I, you know, they may benefit to a high degree, but it leaves the towns outside of their purview lacking and picking up the slack. So, as you say, historically you don't write letters. Would you make an exception?
Well, that's a discussion that the board would have amongst itself, and then if there is a decision out of that, we can let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just curious, as how much is Canada involved in this? Because they have most of the lake in their area.
That's right.
They are very involved in this. In fact, you will be getting a letter signed by 3 levels of their government, asking that they're wanting support that no leachate will be released anywhere or processed in the watershed of Lake Memphremagog. So, you know, we're all looking at these issues, and you get into these things and you don't know how deep you're going to get in. But we do know from our research, and we know that the leachate has fairly high above the permitted standard for drinking water in it, and that wastewater treatment plants can't filter it out yet. We also know that these PFAS chemicals are not only coming from leachate. So what we're getting around to is these forever chemicals are present in what's going into wastewater treatment facilities.
Talk forever, you know.
From the town, from the city, whatever. And so at some point, that's all going to be an issue. At this point, I don't know, like I said, how much of the media, local newspapers, or whatever you're reading, but there was a statement made by Newport City's manager that she's looking forward to the time when they can again receive leachate at the Newport wastewater treatment facility. So that was another spur that prompted us to make some noise, and we have Canadian representation in our group, of course, and he's been involved in their, I don't understand how exactly what the levels of their government are, similar to ours, I think, but they've taken it right to Ottawa. So yes, like I said, I think you will be within a short time receiving a letter from the Canadians with a whole lot of signatures saying we do not want even pre-treatment of leachate within the watershed of Lake Memphremagog.
Well, let's hope that the secretary takes your petition and does something with it.
Absolutely. That's what we're yes. Thank you. Thank you for your endorsement. Your feeling that, you know, things when I went to Derby, listening to what's going on the other side of the lake with the with the Eagle Point property, they're moving to put a launch there for kayaks and canoes, I think, to get people off from what they call the causeway there. They got some help, federal help actually, with replacement of the culverts over there. And so, you know, our lake is a tremendous resource for the economy here. I mean, Teresa moved here because of the lake. Moved from New Hampshire to Newport because, you know, it's a draw for people, tourists. Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hope to see you without a mask on next time so that we know everything's open back up.
Well, if I'd stayed home, then I could have not worn a mask.
Yeah. I hear ya.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on the agenda, 6:15, the water sewer solar panel report. And the first item up on that is the approved and the water ordinance. And I believe you were sent a,
Yep.
you read, I read it, you read it. All right. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Straightforward.
Mike Maynard's here, you guys, and he's muted from Aldrich and Elliott.
I think,
Mike Maynard.
yeah, I saw that. I just asked him to unmute. There we go. Hi, Mike.
Hi, yeah, I don't have anything to add here. If there were questions, I can answer those, but it sounds like everyone's had a chance to take a look at it, so.
We did.
And Mike Bayraw reviewed that as well. And I think Becky Terrian did too on the water board.
Maybe we can get a response from Becky.
Becky, I think you're muted.
I just asked her to unmute. Maybe Becky's not there.
Sorry, I was trying.
She's back.
Yes, I did look it over and I didn't have any issues with it.
Okay, great. Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the water ordinance and the schedule of water rates.
I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded. Discussion.
Do you want to clarify which one we're going to, which level, or we've done that already?
Pretty much did that.
We did that at the last meeting.
All right, very good. We're going on the recommendation that the water committee gave us.
That's right.
Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure of that.
And the schedule of water rates before us is what was approved at the last meeting.
Yeah.
So, okay, motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Anything there? Not here?
Nope, I'm good.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, unanimous. We will now put it out to the public. I believe it's 44 days? Denise, something like that?
People have 44 days to bring a petition before the town challenging that. If that does not happen, it goes into effect 60 days after today.
Okay, so it won't go, probably won't go into effect till 1st of August?
May, right, our expectation is or at least that's what Mike and I have talked about, if no one brings forth a petition, then the August billing would be based on usage.
Okay, good. Very good. Mike's with us.
Yes, he's right here.
HSA 1 well update.
He's gonna go out to you guys.
Okay,
How are you?
good.
I think we all know that HSA 1 has failed us a lot, and they can't pull the well. Cost us $2,000 for them to not get it out.
You can't pull a pump? Okay.
And I did get a quote, I don't know if you've seen it.
We did.
That's only a 300-foot well, which all of our wells are 600 plus. And I'm not sure the permitting and all of that, and if we even want to consider drilling there again, or so we need. I don't know if we need to talk to A&E about where we go.
I think it might be a good idea.
Yeah.
To see what our best option is at this point in the game. We need another well.
I mean, if we drilled right beside it, that well's 600 feet anyway, right? So we can't drill 300 and think we're gonna have one.
Exactly, and so
How much did this well produce?
it was 4,000 or 5,000 a day.
Yeah.
And now it won't. You can hear water running in, but apparently it's not making it to the pump.
Oh, okay.
Because whatever reason, that you can hear the water trickling in.
But they can't pull a pump up or nothing.
They tried with a big crane. And,
Yeah.
Huh.
and they said they can try some more, but it's throwing money at a dry hole
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
And our resources would probably be better into a new well. But that was
I believe what we're talking about is in the well, there's steel casing that goes down through until they hit ledge, correct?
Yeah.
And then from there, you just bore a hole through the ledge. But what has happened is that the ledge has fallen in on top of the well pump. So when trying to pull the pump up, it acts like a locking mechanism and has seized the pump in the hole drilled through the ledge. Okay. Good.
beyond that, still casing water leaks. This time of year just sucks. We're over our usage where we want to be, especially being down a well, but hopefully I'll find it soon. On the water, that's all I really had. On sewer, we got a letter recently, an email from the state of Vermont, saying they're finally asking us to apply for indirect discharge instead of direct discharge. Which is, we are indirect. We should have always been indirect, but for whatever reason our permit has been direct. So there's a $240 application fee, and I talked to Wayne from Vermont Rural Water, who's the wastewater guy, about the application, and he thought it best to send it to A&E and make sure it's done right.
Okay.
And he said it's beneficial for us, our sampling. He said that direct discharge, they're going to really hammer us on sampling costs this summer. So he said it's very beneficial. Even my reporting is supposed to be smoother. So that's a good thing.
Good.
I haven't heard from them yet on our inspection. They should be reaching out any day. I haven't heard from them yet.
Okay.
That's what I had on sewer.
Super.
What about the water repair line?
Oh, yes. You got a bid from Dan Pappin. He's the only one that responded. That's just a portion of it. We don't know if we really want to try to tackle the whole portion at once to stay under the 499 feet. Nobody else called and inquired or nothing.
Well, what do you think?
Well, originally, his idea was for us to work with him and get it, just like we did with the line over on Bergeron Hill, just get it done and just pay him by the hour to get in. You know, it works for me. I don't think it'll take too long. I like to do it sooner than later because I'm down there. I got a mess down there right now from the leak we fixed, and I swear I got another leak there, but it's so wet and there's a cellar drain. I'm at a loss at the moment. So if we could just hammer out that line as soon as it dries up enough. And
Now, is that something you're gonna work on with him when you do it?
that's what I was hoping.
You're gonna lay the line, do the hookups?
Yeah, and we got the pipe and fitting, so we kind of got to be around anyway. So
I know last time, like, 20,000 to do the whole thing was, I
wait,
didn't
he
know.
just threw a number out there. I was asking about cap, you know, say, fix what you can for X amount of dollars. And this way here, I actually thought that number was pretty reasonable.
Well, for that distance there,
Yeah.
we need to do the whole thing.
We do, but there is a footage on how much you're supposed to do at one time. I believe it's 499 feet.
If we did that from that corner in, maybe one length up, added one length, is that what you're planning?
Yeah.
That would get that done, and then a little later do the rest.
His quote is missing 30 feet that crosses Lawson Street and down to the curb stop for Janet Lafitte's house, or shelters, I guess now. But it's missing that, which is another 30 feet, 50 feet.
Yeah.
And somewheres along, we gotta see where it crosses 105. Hopefully there's a sleeve. If there's no sleeve, we're gonna have to drill and put a sleeve.
I had a thought on that. Doesn't it cross the road by the school?
They said no. When
The
they
water
came
line
down,
doesn't?
when they came down through with the Rushies, when they did this down to the school, they said they never came to it.
So it goes down and then all the way back up?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I
I'm
thought there
not
was
sure
something.
where it crosses. So we're gonna find out.
Okay.
So I definitely would like to get it on the books.
We definitely need to fix that down
Oh.
there, cause that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go fix it.
I say fix it.
As soon as I get dry enough weather, I gotta go make that lawn look better just to dig it back up and then
I say fix it as soon as you can. Get it fixed. It's been a problem down there for a bunch of years
It's
now.
a small line too. I don't know why it's such a small line feeding all that.
And
but
then later, if we can do more, we'll do more. See what we got for money and go from there.
You do the drilling under the road if you go across the road?
that,
Like
and
105?
hopefully we'll find a sleeve so we won't have to.
Okay,
because
but if-
that'll be
Just-
expensive.
Then you just push it through with a rig,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, to do it by the hour instead of like this, or with the
You know, with us working with him,
Yeah.
it's be just like we did with Andrew.
Cause this bit is with him doing it all, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so with him working by the hour, it shouldn't be that bad for that distance.
I don't think. Yeah, looking at it, I gotta make sure where we're supposed to start. I'm pretty sure I know. And, you know, it
Yeah.
depends what you run into.
Yeah. I say do it,
He's pretty flexible on when he can start and that?
I talked to him today to go over what he had sent me in an email, and he liked to wait till it's dry, you know, as dry as possible, and I'd like to do it next week. But it's pretty wet.
Well, within a week or so, it should dry up some if we don't get a lot of rain.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play it by ear.
That's
What about the HSA one? Do you guys have any direction that you want in the minutes?
Yeah, what we've decided on, HSA one, was to, get Aldrich and Elliott involved in their recommendations on what we should do for a well update.
Okay,
Historically, that well is deep and isn't producing the water that it used to produce. So just drilling another one beside it, I think.
Well, only drilling 300 feet, is
Yeah.
what the bid is, we're not even, we're just,
You're gonna double that to go
Yeah.
600.
Yeah.
right,
And that's in a gravel well up there, right?
No,
no.
Oh, that's not,
double.
that's all that, okay.
And we've got an issue with the ledge being a little porous anyway, so
I really
I
don't
would
see that
not
coming.
be a proponent of drilling another well right beside
Not
it.
right
No.
side beside it, no.
No.
Alright, we're unanimous there. Okay. So we'll wait and hear what they say.
Okay.
Okay?
I think we need to work on that one up above.
Yeah.
Yes. Anything else under water and sewer?
I'm good if I didn't forget nothing.
You guys got anything more for me?
No.
Okay. You all set, Denise, with that?
yes, I am, thank you.
Road Commissioners
Yeah, but
report?
But it's right behind the lower building.
Okay.
Put it on the screen, put it on the screen,
Once again, we
I didn't hear you.
didn't get any.
put it on the screen.
Oh, no,
Yes, you
I
will.
was then, but not now.
I just muted.
We
Okay.
didn't have any response from gravel crushers. I've talked to the King and Gravel and Simpsons, who have been the ones that have been working locally, both of them, the last day or two. they both seem to want 450 a yard. They both can give me a few thousand in the next month or two, and then come back and stockpile me for next year, beginning of because they shorted me last summer. So the plan was to get like 5,000 or 6,000 in the beginning to get what I need for this summer, then stockpile another 10,000 for next summer. And they both seem willing and able to do it, kind of on a timeline.
Who did it before? Seabear?
Yes.
And he,
Yeah, he wants up his price 25 cents. He was 4 1/4 a yard. Now he wants 450. And I looked at it with Simpson this morning, and I thought he was going to be cheaper, but when he was looking at it, he had to say 450, and if he could get enough done in a day, 1,000 yards a day, he would probably lower the price a little. But with that not in writing or nothing, that
You can count on 450.
yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, psych card.
it gone?
I'm muted. Want to hear this?
What is this you're listening?
Oh, it's just.
Why don't you end it? There's nothing here.
Well, and the only problem I have is the Rushy Road and Chapel.
I have a question. I want to know about this.
If you don't wanna do it, then that's, you know.
They said August 1st. You need 60 days
For what?
for the
Norman's
billing
still
to
with
be
us?
employed or whatever.
He is. Norman, you're muted.
I just asked him to unmute.
Yeah, my service is very poor here, so, okay, and so yes, the Shappet Road, the Russia Road, and, the end of the Lake Road, all the same applications. Hello?
Hello.
Oh yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Hello?
We're just.
Okay.
Rushy
Yeah,
Road-
my service is very, yeah,
We're just discussing the Rushy Road and the Shappet Road is not doing it. So would the price stay the same?
okay,
Would the price stay the same?
yes, yes, and I don't know what the town's budget is, you know, if they wanted to go somewhere else, please, you know, let us know. And, you know, if it's a different application or whatever, definitely, price would stay the same, yes.
Okay,
Well,
so
I think all we need is a new bid.
Also,
It's just the end of the Lake Road.
oh, we got it 59.20 a ton.
But this is for all three, so he needs to make out a new bid of just the end of the Lake Road as a bid.
No, he just said that it would stay the same.
I understand that, Denise, but if we
Correct.
he does all three roads. I
Yeah,
want just,
no, you cross, no, Jerry,
okay,
just cross them out.
okay. I needed you to say that.
What?
And as far as the railroad tracks go, I wanted to see how the bid came in, as if we're into town, we can do a better pricing on the railroad crossings. If we're out of town and have to come in for that, it would be a totally different price. That's why I did not include it, but I will get Mike a price before your next select board meeting.
Okay, if you can give me one, Norman, and I'm gonna give it
Hello?
Railroad and see if they're gonna submit it to CP and see if CP won't go somewhere for it.
Okay, because I would like to conduct that work while we're in town doing the Lake Road.
Absolutely, it makes sense. I will call you tomorrow, Norman.
Yeah, okay, and Jerry or Steve or Rick, you know, just next to where the Shepherd Road and the Russia Road are, just cross it out and just initial it, please,
Okay.
Yeah.
just to make it official on myself.
My thing is a 59.20 a ton, and Mike can determine, you know, what needs to get done and for the number of tons, so.
Well, we can set something up and see what it means.
Perfect.
Even if we use some of the.
So you're okay at 59.20 a ton, Norman?
Yes,
Perfect, that's all we
I
need
make
to
a
know.
motion to accept the bid from Pike at $59.20 a ton.
I'll second that.
Motion,
Thank you.
okay,
motion's made and seconded to,
yes, and what was, excuse me,
okay, we were gonna do a,
hello?
motion's been made and seconded, we're gonna have some discussion. Norman,
Yes, I didn't get the pricing of other contractors, I just, for my information only.
okay,
Well, I got Gray's here. Gray's paving was
Yep.
$74 a ton.
Okay,
Hutchinson's Incorporated was $70 a ton.
okay, thank you very much.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of awarding the paving to Pike Industries at 59.20 a ton, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, Norman. Alright? Yeah, he's got issues with his. Yeah. Good. Anything else, Mike?
I think I'm done.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Next.
Mike, you can actually sign this if you want.
Yeah, can you bring those in here, Mike?
Well, you want them all?
And Denise, do you have the lawn care bids? Oh, thank you.
There's one in there for monsoon, but irrelevant, that just goes to me alone, but it's in one of those pockets, I just need it.
Oh.
That just goes under, that doesn't have to go to you, but.
We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different bids for lawn care. Cemetery. Yeah. What did you say? 2 over there, 2 more over here. 2 here. 1, 2, 3.
Steve Edgley, Steve has a question, but he's gotta get unmuted. Steve, you gotta unmute.
Better?
There you go. That's
Okay.
good.
On the cemeteries, is that in their bids, picking up the rubbish in the cans?
That was put, yeah, on the bid specs, that was put in there. You guys
Okay.
had asked me to put that in there, yeah.
Good.
I'll start, and this is from the Peak View Property Care, and it's for Newport Center Cemetery. Mowing contract for 2021 is at $2,500.
Who was that, Steve?
Peak View.
Okay.
This is this is the one for the mow. And then let me do the other one here. Yep, go ahead. I got another one from Peak View Property Care, and it's for Newport Center, the whole town. Contract price for mowing 2021 season of $6,325. And then there's a 4-man spring cleanup at is $1,680. Then there's fall cleanup of $840, for a total of $8,845.
Okay, I've got, you're all set?
Yep, I'm all
Okay.
set.
I've got Northeast Kingdom Elite Pond and Yard Service. Spring cleanup is $600. Fall cleanup is $400. Mowing and trimming where needed on all properties is $6,000 for a total bid of $7,000.
Right.
Yep. That's it. The other one I've got is just for the mulching.
So is that for the cemetery and the,
I do not believe so, no.
that's just for the town?
Yeah, I believe it's fine to be cared for in the town. Don't mention the cemetery.
Oh, my God.
It's just the town, not the cemetery.
There should be separate bids for each, guys.
It should be, yeah.
What's the other one?
Oh, this is for mulching in town.
Yeah, that's not that doesn't go out to bid, that's the one I said to just set aside.
Okay, yep. Oh, here, give her. Okay, I have night property maintenance. And this is for the town. Bid for lawn services for 2021 summer season. Properties include mowing and weed whacking, $3,000. And bush hogging. Spring cleanup, 400, fall cleanup, 400, for a total of $3,800. That's for the town.
Mm-hmm.
For the cemetery, bid for lawn services 2021 for cemetery Route 100 to include mowing, trimming, and weed whacking, $3,200. Spring cleanup, $450, fall cleanup, $550, and trash removal, $0, for a total of $4,200.
Thank you.
Who did it last year for?
Night property maintenance, I believe, was our one last year, right, Denise?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a cemetery one, Steve?
Yeah. Cemetery was 2,500. So if you put the two together for peak, that's 11,300 bucks.
Wow. The total together for night property maintenance is $8,000 total between the two. And the one you have.
And the one I've got 7,000.
But we're not sure if that's a cemetery or just town.
This is lawn bids for care in the town. It doesn't say anything about
cemetery.
Cemetery. There's nothing about cemetery. Oh, wait a minute here. Recycling center, town clerk's office, town garage, ball field area, and other properties if needed. And that's just in the fall cleanup.
So I make the motion to give it to night property, $3,000.
We're gonna have it to, we're gonna do the cemetery as,
Separate?
yeah, it has to be, yeah.
Okay, so
Make the motion to do the cemetery for $4,200. And the town one for $3,800 through night property maintenance.
That computer just died.
oh,
Okay, that's, the motion's been made, any second?
I'll second it.
and this is for nights.
Night property maintenance. For a total of $8,000 between the two.
Right, but if we're, I've got, what's your, I'm sorry, your cleanup for the cemeteries?
Cleanup was, for the cemetery was $450 and $550. Spring cleanup and fall cleanup.
So,
And he put in trash removal at $0.
so you, okay, you got 4,200 for the cemetery at nights.
Yeah.
And peak view for the cemetery is 2,500.
And is that considering the cleanup as well?
I have no idea. It just said mowing contract for 2020.
Yeah, just mowing probably.
So,
I don't know.
I was very happy with what I saw from night last year, so
okay.
That's Steve Edgerly.
Steve, you know about, peak view property when you bid, when they put in a bid, if it's for everything or just mowing?
I don't have a clue. Only one I knew was nights.
Were you happy with theirs?
Yeah.
Okay. So motion's been made and seconded to award the, and Northeast was 7,000, and that was just for
town.
It was just for the town. Yeah, recycling center, town clerk's office, town garage, ball field,
nothing about cemetery.
and other properties if needed. So, Well, that's a lot of, yes, I agree, you know, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to award the, lawn care and for cemeteries in the town of Newport at $8,000. Any discussion?
I'm going on Steve's recommendation that they were
Okay.
well cared for, you know, and Denise says,
Okay,
all these were good.
any further discussion? No? All those in favor of awarding the contract to Knight's Property Management signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No? Ayes have it, it's unanimous. So it got awarded to Knight's Property Management, Cemetery and Town.
I'll take all those good stuff.
Yep, I think they're back there, two there. Hard when you're not
Well, you vague on.
doing apples to apples.
I know.
And they all got the same, spec sheet.
Okay,
Yep.
good. That's all we can do is put it out the same, and if they bring it back,
Yeah,
fine.
it's hard to make a decision, you know.
I know.
All right, moving on,
It's the right one.
proposal from, CAI Tech Tax Map and Lister Info, is that,
Oh, yeah. What that is, basically is, our tax map guy, was in here this week or last week, to update the tax maps or begin the process to update them. He also, provides a service, to put more stuff online. Specifically, the grand list, which would allow people to go on and print out their own lister's card. Like, let's say you wanted, Derby does this, you could go on the town of Derby's website, you can print out anyone's, not their tax bill, because a lot of that, your state prebate is not public knowledge, but the grand list, the assessment of your property, a copy of your property tax map. He will do all this for us on a yearly basis. The listers thought it was a great idea. It affects this office more than the listers because we get calls every day. Nothing to get 10, 12 calls, to do 10 or 12 copies per day.
Mhm.
Now people, banks, appraisal people, real estate people could go online, they could print out the lister's card. His price is $3,000 to initially set that up. And
currently we pay him how much a year?
to do the tax map, I forget what's in the budget, I think around $1,200. That's to update the tax map, to
Right.
give us a new tax map. He makes 2 copies, one for me, one.
So he'd do this all at once then, you mean, when he's doing it?
Yes, well, this will take some time to implement.
Right, no, I understand that.
Yep. Set up in implementation, $3,000, to set it up, and $475, for the staff site. They actually come up in here, get into the lister's computer, get the grand list to mix with our website. What you would do is go on the town of Newport website, there would be a link there. They typically charge $950, but they charge us $475, seeing that you're gonna be here with the tax map. I personally think it's a great idea, it's totally up to you guys.
The lister's recommendation is to go with it?
The listers, we discussed it again this week. They didn't see a huge benefit until they realized, how many people come in, they're only here one day a week.
Right.
How many people come in here and how much people look for those types of copies.
These are citizens that come in and look for this stuff, or?
It's
or
citizens, it's
lawyers?
banks,
Yeah.
So
title search people.
Title search people, yeah.
Appraisers.
title searches will they'll still have to come in.
Mhm. Yeah,
That
we're
won't
not,
be-
this is not digitizing land records, this
Okay.
is the grand list, the tax,
Okay,
that's it, yeah.
and you think it's a good idea also?
I personally think it's a great idea, yeah.
And we have money in the listed budget for, what do you call it? Reappraisal. And we could take some of that money and put it into this.
Yeah.
All right.
Make the motion for it.
Yep, and I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to, take the proposal from our new tax mapping guide for adding information onto our website for people to get their grand list and tax map and whatever else. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it.
Thank you, guys.
Motion carries.
You guys, I think you're gonna really like it. If you go on Derby, it's very, very, it's a very good thing.
So to go on Derby, you just go on their website and
Yep.
put in your information. We
Yep.
got a box there. All right. And next item up is to sign orders, review and approve journal entries and bank statements. They're right here in front of you to do.
We did it while you were talking.
All right, good. Executive session, we don't need any unfinished or new business. Denise, you have anything?
No?
Mike? You have, no? You guys have anything?
Anybody else?
I have a question. I have a question about something I really didn't understand. It will only take a minute, please. About when the water billing will become active. Just so I can explain it to people and myself. Denise said there was a petition that is available for 60 days for anyone to argue the point of what's going on, and then you would have the billing would become active, and you said August 1st. So I'm not clear on that. You said 60 days. This is April, May, June, July. Did I get that wrong, or can you explain that to me so I can tell people and I can understand myself?
Whenever the select board adopts an ordinance, it does not go into effect until 60 days after the date of adoption. And if a voter has, I'll actually read what it says. If the town does not receive a voter petition within 44 days of the date the select board adopted the ordinance, then it will come into effect after 60 days. People have 44 days to get a petition together to dispute the ordinance, and then the select board would have to have a special meeting. If that does not happen, it becomes effective 60 days after today.
Okay, so in math, give me some math. So we have 44 more days you have to do the petition, right?
Yes.
And then 60 days after that, right? Is that how?
60 days total. People have 44 days to bring forth a petition. If they do not do that, the ordinance becomes effective 60 days after today.
Okay, so what is the actual date of making the billing active so the people will receive a bill with usage and the new third?
We only bill water bills once every quarter. So the next bill is going to go out May 1st, and then the next bill after that is August 1st. So it would be with the August bill.
Okay, great. Now I understand. I didn't take that into consideration that you were gonna. It was gonna have to be after each, like quarter, 3 months. So that's how you get to August. That cleared up my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Hearing nothing? Thank you, Paul, for attending.
The motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
And seconded. All those in favor of adjourning,